Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, there's hype about the current England squad of players, right? But lads, how good are they really? Even the world-class golden generation of 2006 won as many World Cup medals as Kevin Kilbane's cat, and yet still, I'm going to go through Gareth Southgate's current England squad and just see if you combined both squads, who'd actually be picked by Sven. Jordan Pickford, yes. Okay lads, I don't particularly rate Jordan Pickford, but I don't want to be unfair to the lad, but he just has the look of someone whose mother spent their pregnancy drinking whiskey through a straw. Despite his borderline insane behaviour though, and with less concentration than a glass of Tropicana, he'd still make the 2006 World Cup squad. Yes, that was England's golden generation, but there was still a clear shortage of competent goalies. Expecting to win a World Cup with Paul Robinson, Scott Carson and a 35-year-old David James, you're more likely to swim the English Channel with a school bag on your back. Clearly, for whatever reason, the women of England weren't giving birth to half-decent goalies in the 70s. Dean Henderson, yes. Yeah, for the same reason, because of that big bag of goalkeeping garbage. You could staple a couple of squirrels together and they'd be in with a half chance of making that squad. Christ, look at their catalogue of errors throughout their careers, you'd find less mistakes in the Magaluf maternity ward. So yes, £50 million rated Dean Henderson, yes, both he and Pickford would make the squad. Nick Pope, no. Listen lads, I don't particularly rate Paul Robinson, but he was both England and Tottenham number 1 in 2006. Nick Pope, by contrast, is on the books of Burnley. Not very fashionable for Sven. I do think it's close, but yeah, Robinson would probably edge him out to be this team's number 3. Trent Alexander-Arnold, yes. Lads, rewind back to 2006 and dump Trent Alexander-Arnold into English football, he'd be seen as some sort of alien, a right back who spends half the game camped in the opposition half, who hoovers up 10 assists a season. This was an era where fullbacks were defenders. This creative right back would probably be whipped off to Area 21 for medical testing. No, he probably wouldn't start. Sven-Göran Eriksson would probably rather tear out his eyeballs than dare to drop Gary Neville, but he'd go as a backup. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, no. Lads, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a good solid defender, but Sven only brought one right back to Germany in 2006. Clearly he had about as much respect for right backs as he did for his wife. Gary Neville, the actual Man United club captain, was never going to be dropped from this squad. He'd probably have to develop gangrene disease and be buried at sea. That was the only way Sven was going to avoid picking him. So no, sorry Wan-Bissaka and both Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier, no, none of you are making the squad. Ben Chilwell, yes. Bringing a left back to a World Cup who was second choice at club level, it wasn't ideal. Wayne Bridge was a decent player, but he spent the first half of the 05-06 season trapped on the Chelsea bench, and the second half punted out on loan to Fulham, and yet apparently that was still good enough to warrant a World Cup playing ticket. Then again, this is also the same guy who called up teenagers who were yet to play a Premier League game. Sven and Logic went together about as well as Seth Rogen and low-carb diets, but Ben Chilwell, playing every week for a top 4 contender, linked with an £80 million move to Chelsea, as opposed to just being tossed in the broom closet, yeah, he'd go as backup to Ashley Cole. Harry Maguire, no. Lads, England's centre-back options in 2006 were ridiculous. Both Rio Ferdinand and John Terry were starting week in, week out for title challengers Man United and Chelsea respectively. Sol Campbell had just scored in the Champions League final, while Jamie Carragher just lifted the FA Cup at Liverpool. Man United fans might currently be ripping out chunks of their own hair, threatening to mail me dead pigeons in the post, but lads, please tell me, which of those 4 defenders would make way for Harry Maguire? Yes, he costs a lot of money. Yes, he was born with a skull resembling a radiator, but those 4 were world-class defenders. He is not. Joe Gomez, no. Yeah, as I've said lads, I'm not knocking England's current defenders, but they wouldn't hold a candle against the crop in 2006. Christ above, even the centre backs who didn't make that squad, Ledley King, Jonathan Woodgate, Wes Brown, even they'd walk headfirst into Gareth Southgate's current team. Joe Gomez, surely he's just won the league and hasn't lost a league game in 2 bastard years, but the likes of Jamie Carragher would eat this man's career for breakfast. John Stones, no. John Stones is a £50 million title-winning defender in modern football. Go back 10 years ago, would he start for any top 4 team? No, because back then there was more of an emphasis on actual defending. Sure, he's a good ball-playing centre-half. So was Rio Ferdinand, so was Ricardo Carvalho, but unlike Stones, they knew how to clear the goddamn ball. They didn't just let their brains turn into soggy wet yogurt under the tiniest bit of pressure. Back in 2006, not only would Stones be nowhere near the England setup, he'd still be stuck at Goodison Park. Tyrone Mings, no. Okay, do I even need to elaborate on this one? Tyrone Mings is lucky to be involved in the England setup now, when he's currently chained to the relegation zone and about 4 games off becoming a championship player yet again. He's clinging onto his England spot by a fingernail now. Back in 2006, he'd have about as much chance of being called up by Sven as the village drunk. Declan Rice, no. If Declan Rice was born in 1989, he'd be playing for Ireland. You really think he'd have magically declared for England if his competition was a bit stronger than Ross Barkley and Harry Winks? Tell him that he'd instead have to muscle past Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Owen Hargreaves and Michael Carrick for a starting spot? Then swapping international allegiances wouldn't have made sense. It would be like a milkman from Bolton leaving his wife to try and beg Kendall Jenner for a date. It's not going to happen. Harry Winks, no. Yeah, for the same reasons, not a hope in hell. Christ above, never mind the world-class stars. Harry Winks should be vying with Jermaine Jenas and Phil Neville for caps. Lads, the likes of Gareth Barry and Scott Parker were left at home in 2006. If that's the calibre of midfielder that refused a plane ticket, then no, I'm pretty sure Winks would be spending the summer picking cheese out of his belly button. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? No. Right, so Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has confirmed he's a central midfielder, right? Refusing to even contemplate being stopped back onto the wing. Well, in that case, not a hope in hell does he make the 2006 World Cup squad. Listen lads, I rate Chamberlain, but the standard of central midfielder under Sven, it was so high that Paul Scholes was even forced to quit England after being squeezed onto the left wing. If arguably the finest passer of a ball in Premier League history, if he wasn't even able to command a central midfield starting berth, then what chance in the cat's left kidney does Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain have? Now, if he wanted to swallow his pride and become a winger again, then he might have a chance. But as a central midfielder, no. Mason Mount, no. Would Mason Mount make the England squad in 2006? Is this a serious question? Surely he's done well for Chelsea this season, but make no mistake about it, Mason Mount in 2020 is about on par with Danny Murphy in 2006, who was stuck in Charlton's midfield, not getting within a sniff of a World Cup spot. Christ above, David Bentley was scoring hat-tricks against Man United and still not getting involved, so Mason Mount, the only way he's getting a plane ticket is if he was brought to make the coffee. Dele Alli, yes. Oh lads, controversial one maybe, but yes, I think Dele Alli might just have squeezed himself onto that plane in Germany. The only reason being, Jermaine Jenas made that flight, and he had ankles made of tinfoil. Ask a Tottenham fan who they prefer out of Jenas or Dele Alli, and I think you've got your answer. Jordan Henderson, yes. Lads, can you imagine if I put Jordan Henderson down as a no? In the last year, he's captained Liverpool to both Champions League, Premier League and Bastard Club World Cup titles. If I said he'd refuse to make England's 2006 squad, a team who only managed to beat Paraguay, Ecuador and Trinidad and Tobago, yet rightfully have Liverpool fans wanting to burn me at the stake. Christ, they'd probably happily keep a jar of my teeth in the bedside drawer. Listen, yes, England's squad was jam-packed with world-class midfielders, but still, I think we can replace Michael Carrick with Henderson. You have to. Raheem Sterling, yes. Raheem Sterling has scored nearly 100 goals in less than 250 games for Man City. Never mind making the squad, back in 2006, he'd be held up as the country's very own Cristiano Ronaldo. What other player in that England squad was scoring 25 goals a season from the bastard wing? Not even Wayne Rooney, the country's talisman and apparent heir to Pele. Not even he was putting up those sort of numbers. Christ, can you imagine the absolute hype train Sterling would have had in 2006? Theo Walcott's every sneeze was hyped up to the 9th degree, and the only thing he'd ever done was wear a shirt 3 sizes too big. Tammy Abraham, no. Listen, England's collection of strikers at the 2006 World Cup wasn't all that great. Both Michael Owen and Rooney were being rushed back from injury. Peter Crouch was solid, but not exactly world class. And yet still, do I think Tammy Abraham would have made that squad? No. Callum Wilson, no. Yeah, same here. Back in 2006, England were obsessed with big name players in the top 4. So Callum Wilson leading the line for a soon to be relegated Bournemouth. Lads, Darren Bent scored over 20 goals during the 05-06 season and was only left at home because apparently Charlton athletic footballers are less fashionable than Arsenal teenagers stuffed on the bench. Would Wilson have a hope, a prayer, a sliver of chance of making the squad? Never in a million years. Harry Kane, yes. Lads, one of only 2 players who'd actually make the 06 starting 11. Seriously, yes, Michael Owen's a big name, to the extent where Sven was terrified to leave him out, despite his limbs being held together by bastard sellotape. But Kane is the modern day reincarnation of Alan Shearer. Sure, he's unfashionable. Yes, he speaks like he has a broken dishwasher lodged in his mouth. But I'm sorry, not even Eriksen could leave out a 30 goal a season striker. Yes, he'd start up front with Rooney. Jadon Sancho, yes. Okay, yes, England had a rock solid spine, but they weren't exactly stacked on the wings. Both Stuart Downing and a 19-year-old Aaron Lennon found themselves chucked on the plane. So I'm pretty sure Jadon Sancho, after 17 goals and 17 assists, would walk headfirst into the squad without a shadow of a doubt. He wouldn't make the starting lineup though, because Sven was probably too scared to cough in the presence of David Beckham, let alone drop him from the team. Callum Hudson-Odoi, no. Callum Hudson-Odoi, seriously? I'm sorry. Is it too soon to label this guy overhyped just yet? Remember when Bayern Munich were prioritising him above Leroy Sané? Since signing that 130k a week contract to Chelsea, he's shown all the end product of a wounded duck. Even Lennon at the same age. Sure, he frustrated Tottenham fans on a weekly basis, but still had twice the number of Premier League goals as Hudson-Odoi, having played the same amount of games. Marcus Rashford, no. Okay lads, this is close. We've already dropped Peter Crouch to accommodate Harry Kane, so next to get the boot would have had to be Michael Owen. Listen, yes, on merit, Marcus Rashford at this age is far superior to the broken up shell of Michael Owen aged 26. Lads, even Mason Greenwood is. But lads, never forget the power this man had in the England team. He'd scored at World Cups aged 18, battered a hat-trick against the Germans, netted against Brazil, single-handedly won FA Cups for Liverpool, scored in El Clásicos, won a Ballon d'Or. Yes, Rashford is having a great season, but back in 2006, Owen could have had both his feet amputated and still, both the FA and Sven would have blindly moved heaven and earth to somehow fit him in the squad. So sorry, Rashford. Anyway, that's the end of it, lads. Let me know in the comments section below. If you agree with this, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.